What is up, verse, and welcome to another video on the same day. I think this is my first double upload ever, but it just needs to happen. I already got out the Elden Ring Night Rain pre-order trailer to y'all. I fell asleep. I pulled an all-nighter getting another video before that one out to y'all. I was editing that, and then they're gonna drop the trailer. I fell asleep, and I woke up, and there's a Vati video with 700,000 views in 10 hours. Huh? It is my job, it's my due diligence to get this video out to y'all. Like me, I'm not Mr. Motion. I don't get the keys to the finer things in life. The finer things in life being early access to Elden Ring Night Rain. So the best I can do for now until the 14th, we're in the playtest, is to watch this Vati video and see what the game's about. You know, I want to see what the game's about. I know I'm gonna be getting spoiled. I know that there are bosses in this game that I've never seen before. I know. When Netless King came up in the Game Awards trailer, I got so many comments saying,
Yo, you don't know who that boss is yet, Davo. You don't
know. Y'all are spoiling it for me. But without further ado, let's get into this, bro. I'm excited.
Recently, I played 6 hours of Elden Ring.
6 hours? That's a lot too. I think
we were
like
locked
each session's
in for
like
that
2
entire
hours
time.
or like 3 hours.
This game is addictive.
Damn,
it's
that
intense.
looks beautiful.
It's way faster paced than I expected.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna be a hit.
I want it to be a hit. I want this to be a game that like sticks, that hits, that lasts. And I want there to be crossplay. I don't know if there is,
day
but
one is about to begin.
I'm excited. I'm excited, Vati.
Your goal in Night Rain is to survive each day as a ring of rain closes in around you and your team.
Okay, so
Then,
like basically
at the start
Fortnite
of day
rules,
3,
really, or
you'll
just Battle
fight one
Royale
of
rules.
8
I'm gonna say
major
Fortnite,
bosses using all of the randomized loot and buffs that you've accumulated over the course of your run.
Okay, so like that's like the roguelike aspect of it. But roguelikes typically, like, there's a way for you to get permanent buffs and upgrades. I wonder, well, they're obviously gonna go over that. You have to go over that. It's just that type of game. But I want to see what that's like. I really want to know what that's like.
Now, every session you play in Night Rain is supposed to be somewhat unpredictable.
Ooh, you
like,
won't
always explore the same map or receive the same loot
I really
or
like
face
that.
the same enemies.
That's what
the
it's
one
supposed
thing,
to be.
though, that I found
rules.
very predictable in every single one of my Night Rain sessions was this feeling of pressure. The pressure not just to survive, but the pressure to get stronger. Because if you don't get powerful fast, there's no way you'll defeat.
Okay, so yeah, time.
Boss.
Exactly, it's a time thing,
You can kind of see that pressure in action here. These characters just rested at a grace and leveled up and ran because the rain is coming.
They did all that? What? They didn't even sit at the grace! Dude, they literally just walked up at it and ran off.
Here.
Okay, so I'm assuming you don't level up stats then. I'm like, that's how it has to be. If you can just run up to it and just level up by clicking, like, I'm assuming you just spam your X button. You don't level up specific stats, it just levels up all your stats at once. That's just how it has to be.
Just rested at a grace and leveled up and ran because the rain is coming. And you don't have much time.
Ooh, that's intense. That's intense. Oh, I'm excited for this. This is some innovation.
In our playthrough
I
session,
love this.
We would have to make
combining battle royales
split-second decisions about
roguelikes
where to go
and
what to do, and most importantly, whether we had the time to do it. So often it was a choice between defeating a boss and claiming its loot or running away.
Oh, that's not. Oh, but I guess you get the rooms. Oh, wait, how much damage does the stuff do? Does the rain do? I'm sure you can still
as well, and
loot the
all
boss.
of these changes have been made in the name of speed and efficiency.
Okay.
For example, you can now vault easily over objects and even enemies as well.
Oh, that's nice, because I've never killed one of these guys before. They were too hard to, so I never fought them.
You need torrent to traverse the map. Now you can press L3 to activate a powerful sprint,
L3 is
and you can also activate spirit springs on foot,
or
which vault
on the
you
right.
so high up into the air. Also, there's no fall damage in Night Rain,
that's
so
something
from
I really
high places
like.
it's easy to justify jumping down and getting to where you need to be.
An Everjail? Okay. I think there was one in a previous scene, but I didn't acknowledge that.
The different Nightfarers that you can choose to play in this game. This is the Recluse, a mage character that, like other characters, has an ability and an ultimate.
Okay, what does it do, though?
They've turned the HUD off for the footage that they've given us, but I remember what these abilities and skills looked like, so I've drawn them, and this is where they are usually on screen.
Just
your
that
activated
big, like
ability
that?
is on the left, and your ultimate
That's kind of
is
ugly,
on
if
the right.
I have to be honest.
Both of these circles fill up over
Excuse me.
time, and when they're full, that's when
This is
you can
one of the moves
use
in the trailer, I
ability
saw that.
or the ultimate. Now,
Okay.
the Recluse has an ability that is actually much more complicated than the other characters' abilities, and I think they designed it this way because the Recluse is designed to be a
What's that
backline
emblem on the character?
In Night Rain, the spells you cast are tied to the weapons you pick up, so you usually only have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 spells on hand.
That is a really cool
So
looking
From
move.
Software
That's
has given
really cool.
mages another system to sort of micromanage while they're standing in the backline casting
That's
spells.
nice for them, I guess.
Let me explain really quickly how it works. Basically, whenever an enemy or a teammate gets tagged by a certain type of damage, like fire or magic or holy, a little marker will appear on them, and then the Recluse
so that's
can
okay.
absorb that type of energy, getting a little bit of mana, but more importantly,
Oh.
filling out one of these small orbs.
Oh.
Then, when you've acquired 3 elements, you can unleash the Recluse's ability,
Oh, that's
generating
so
a
cool!
unique spell based on the combination of elements.
Oh, that's so cool! Oh, that's so cool! That's gonna be so good. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, that's really cool.
So
oh, that's
a
really
huge part
cool.
of this character's skill expression
Oh,
is going
I
to
don't
be
even really like-
understanding intuitively what these different combinations of spell are and whether you're in the right position to cast them.
I don't even really like playing as mages in games because I like being in the action more, but I really like that little and how you have to coordinate with your teammates. Hey, don't hit them with just anything. You hit them with specifically these types of abilities and things to I'm assuming the different combinations you have can give different debuffs or effects to different enemies that may have different types of resistances, because otherwise I don't see what the point of doing that is. But that is really cool. You can min-max and just make perfect builds for perfect certain types of enemies. That's amazing. I love that. I love that.
And this is just this character's ability. They obviously have an ultimate as well,
Yeah.
and this one is more straightforward. Basically, after a short delay, you can mark nearby enemies with this red tag, and once marked, if anyone
That's what I
on
was
the team
wondering.
hits them, they will regain health and
Ooh.
mana, which is incredible for
Dude, a mage
the
is
sustained
a recluse
health
is
of your party.
necessary for this game.
Now,
You have to
when
have one in your
cast
party.
An ultimate from any
My first one is
character,
gonna be solo,
your
so I won't-
character
I probably
actually
won't run
becomes
recluse, but-
invincible while they're casting it, which,
That's nice.
in the case of the recluse, is especially handy, as you can see in this footage, where
That's
they
nice.
use it to sort of mitigate all of the aggro that they're receiving.
That's really nice, yeah.
Okay, so the Recluse is the most complicated character to explain. They also even have a passive ability, just like the other characters do, but I don't really know what the Recluse's does. I think it regenerates mana somehow.
Okay.
Anyway, let's talk about the next character, Wilder, who is very
Okay,
much
so that's
a
the guy
jack
that
of all
was
trades.
the statue guy.
Wilder's hookshot ability is on a very short cooldown, and you'll find yourself
That's
using
nice.
it a lot. On small enemies,
How far-
it
I wonder
pulls
how
them
far you can
towards
pull
you,
them.
and
On
on larger
large, it just,
enemies,
staggers
it
them, I
pulls
guess.
you towards them.
Oh,
One
that's
thing worth
cool.
noting is it's easy to chain the hookshot into different attacks, like you can see here.
Oh, that's really cool.
The hookshot can also be
I thought that
aimed
was just an
manually,
attack that
hitting
comes
the
with
terrain
the hookshot,
and
but-
launching you forward.
That's nice.
Now,
That's cool.
Wilder's ultimate
Escape
also
the
uses
rain
his left
quickly.
arm. The grappling hook opens up for an explosive blast.
That's cool.
This blast can be charged, it can be comboed
that's his
with
ult,
your
it said?
running animation,
kind of a
and
weak ult in
the
my
hookshot
opinion.
animation, and it stuns enemies. In this
I guess
case,
that's
it
a big
actually
one,
staggered
stunning
the enemy,
enemies.
allowing for a critical hit.
The way
But
he shot
on
that was
every
fucking
single
cinematic
enemy
as
and
hell. I
boss
love
I
that.
used it against, it also stunned them for a short amount of time.
That's
which was
huge.
this unique animation that allowed
So,
my teammates to
so
sort
pairing him up with the recluse, you stagger the enemy. Oh no, I guess the recluse would use his ult first, and then you stagger the enemy, and everybody just jumps in, starts beating up on the enemy, and gets your HP back, all the HP that you lost. That's literally a team up right there. Those are team up. This is Marvel Rivals too. This is a hero shooter too.
of get a moment to breathe or do extra damage.
I like
Wilder's
that.
passive ability is a one-time use effect that allows him to completely negate any instant of damage that would have killed him. You might have just seen it activate there.
Yeah, okay.
Basically,
that's what that
Wilder
was.
does this brief moment of inspired acrobatics and gets a second chance instead of being downed. Next, let's
Okay,
talk
that's
about
cool.
the Guardian. So the Guardian's passive
The
ability
Guardian was the one
is
that
this
kind of excited
shield
me.
stance, I'm pretty sure, which increases your guarding capabilities at the expense of your movement. Their ability is this whirlwind attack, which seems to get rid of environmental effects like the Death Blight here, but
Okay.
moreover, its main function is to interrupt enemies, so that your teammates can get some damage in. In this way, the
That's
Guardian
nice.
is a really strong melee support character, acting as a tank,
Yeah.
but also as a
I think
tank
Guardian
sort
is
of
something that I'd
support
want to play, but
for other
Recluse, I'm thinking about
characters
Recluse
around
as
you.
well now.
Their ultimate too is very team-based, with this
So that's the
aerial
one we
dive
saw in the
bomb
trailer.
that is excellent for
Finishing?
reviving your teammates, because
Reviving?
remember, you have to attack your teammates to revive them.
I
This is a
remember,
secondary
when was
effect,
that
I'm
said?
pretty sure of fortifying the teammates that are near the area of
Oh,
effect, giving
wow.
them increased poise for
That
a
is
short
a
time.
great move. That's
I
like
make it sound like the
clutch time
Guardian
move.
is purely a support character, but that dive bomb will be excellent for clearing groups of small enemies as
that's
well.
also very true.
And accumulating runes from killing enemies and strengthening all of your characters and leveling up is a huge part of the game, so that kind of group clearing is a really good offensive capability as well.
Yep.
And speaking of offensive capabilities, this is the Duchess, who was the character
Okay,
that
now
I played
she
the
was
most
also
in
really
this demo.
cool.
Her passive is this sidestep dodge
I
that's
think Wilder's
similar
really
to
the only
Bloodborne
character that I'm
dodge,
not too
making
interested
her
in playing
very
too
well
much.
suited for anyone who prefers a more aggressive playstyle. Her ability recharges extremely fast, like you can use it every 10 seconds or so.
That's
and
wild.
It's a sort of stopwatch themed ability which takes into account the last few seconds of
So does
damage
she
that
make
enemy has
like
taken
clones like that?
and
What does that
duplicates
do?
it.
Oh,
This
wait, he just said right there. I completely just talked over him. Let me run that back.
stopwatch themed ability which
Oh,
takes
okay.
into account the last few seconds of damage that that enemy has taken and duplicates it. This effect is shown by a white spirit that appears
That is insane.
and sort of shows the damage
That's basically
that
an
is
execute
being
move.
duplicated.
If the enemy's already
Because
like
you're
lower,
so aggressive, the Duchess
That-
naturally gets a lot of aggro.
that's an execute.
But this is offset by her dodge, but also by her ultimate, which is a cloaking spell that cloaks you and your nearby allies,
Oh my
making
God.
you way less likely to get aggro and just enabling a few different things within the context of the game. For example, you can use it before a fight to get the jump on enemies, you can use it in the middle of the fight
Oh
to
my
disengage
goodness.
from enemies, or something that's especially good is using it to safely resurrect your teammates.
oh, that's
once
also
they get downed.
huge. That's also
So,
huge.
when you die in this game, you fall to the ground, you crawl extremely slowly,
Damn, how much
and
the-
a little
do you have to
circle
hit your
appears above
allies to
head.
revive
This
them?
little circle is basically like a health
That's a
bar
knockdown.
that your teammates have to attack and deplete in order to resurrect you.
I
The
like
first
that.
time you're downed, you only have one of these purple bars, the second time you have two, and the third time you
time.
have
And if
three,
you die a
meaning that
fourth
every
time-
subsequent time you die, it's more risky for your teammates to try and
Yeah.
resurrect you because they have to stand there hitting you while avoiding aggro for quite a long time. And with some of these
So what happens if you
bosses,
die?
avoiding
Like, does it
aggro
just keep
is
going
not
up?
easy.
Like, if
These
you die
bosses
fourth
will
time, there's four
often
bars?
be
Like,
a
and just going on?
three-part fight where you just have them on you the entire time.
Wow, that is,
so
like,
resurrecting your
insane
teammates is
aggro.
definitely a tricky thing to pull off sometimes. It's also something that takes the damage you deal
Ooh.
into account.
That's a
so
cool
the more
move.
damage you do, the faster you'll resurrect your teammates.
Okay,
and
that
so
makes sense.
now I think we should talk about how to make your character stronger, how to make
Okay, yeah,
you do
that's
more
what I'm
damage
interested
and
about. I want to see
take
what like
more
the
damage
actual
and
roguelike
survive.
things are about this.
Okay, so the footage they gave us is really quite good. It does a good job of
that's
showcasing
good.
things that are
That's
important
great.
to the
That's
game.
considerate of them.
But RP walking like this is not one of them. If you did this in game, your
You're wasting
teammates will
time.
scream at you.
Yeah,
like,
just
you
aura-
don't have time to
aura
do this kind of
farming,
thing.
bro.
You
Lock
are
in!
Evaluating
Oh, and it all
weapons
just drops
and
on the ground?
items
Oh, I
and
like
stats
that.
as fast as you can because you also have
Oh,
to
I
think
kinda
about where
like
to
how
go
that
next.
looks.
And yeah, it's
That
just
axe
crazy.
looks pretty.
So
I like that
A
axe.
big part of skill expression is being able to look at a weapon and saying, okay, this suits my build. Okay, I'm going to work towards this, or I'm going to leave this one behind, or I'm going to give this one to a teammate, that sort of thing. And a part of what makes this so much simpler than Elden Ring, but also so much more complex, is that, yes, weapons have been simplified in the sense that they have one number associated with the damage they do, and it's quite clear if they inflict a status effect like Scarlet Rot. It's obvious if you've played the base game which skill is tied to the weapon, but what makes this so much more complex is that every single piece of equipment now comes with passive buffs that affect your character even if the weapon isn't actually in your
Oh,
hand.
even if you don't even...
So you have 6 weapon slots in this game.
6?
And you want to fill every single one
Yeah,
of them.
you literally
because
just do.
Every
Because they
weapon
all
will
give you a
confer
benefit.
different
They just-
passive buff that will affect the main weapon
Oh
that you have in
my
your hand.
goodness.
So, say for example,
Oh my god,
these
the builds
3
in this game are
armaments
going to
drop
be
for you.
insane.
Which ones would you take with you?
I'm putting them all on.
If you're playing a melee character,
I don't
the
care.
tree spear
If
might be
I can
great
have them
because
all on, I'm
it
going to put them all
actually
on.
has a really good charge attack, and it increases the damage that charge attacks do. So you might want to base your build more around a charge attack playstyle. Or if you have the Duchess on your team, you might want to grab the blue.
Well, I mean, realistically, you'd be using this one. You'd be using the tree spear because of, is that lightning damage 81 plus or whatever, and then you get a 16+% lightning. Oh, that's negation. That's not a boost in damage. Still, I'm still putting it on. I don't care.
Bleed seems to synergize really well with the stopwatch ability that duplicates damage. Being able to spot these synergies in an instant and try to make your build on the fly
that sucks
was
because I'm not
really
that
big
type of
part
person.
of what made this game so
I don't have
fun
that
to me.
ability usually.
You should also be evaluating consumables because you can only carry 4 stacks of any one consumable
How much
at
is a
any
stack?
one time,
How much is a stack stack
and
up to?
consumables are really good now. Firebombs are now handheld nukes that can be thrown in midair, and weapon
that's
buffs
nice.
can be applied to any weapon, and they're
They really upped the
powerful,
mobility
so
with this, bro.
bear that in mind.
I love this. They
Another thing
turned
that's
up
really
the mobility to
important
11.
is ideally
What?
you'll
The
have
map,
someone
okay.
on your team who's really good at quickly evaluating where it would be best
me.
to go next.
Thank you.
There are a lot of important landmarks in this game, and many of them will be recognizable.
Surely it doesn't
across
show you all
multiple
this stuff
sessions.
on the map,
For
right?
example, you see that black rise off to the right there? So
That one right there,
if you
yeah.
solve the puzzle and make your way to the top, you'll get a choice of 3 armaments and or buffs to choose from, which usually is a reward that's exclusive to when you kill bosses in
Okay,
this
that's
game.
nice.
So basically
So you
every
want to do
landmark
these.
has a boss within it, but some have interesting things as well, like we're currently diving down to Kenneth Heights Castle, which
Is that
showed
actually
up a
his
few
castle?
times for us in our run.
Oh.
And inside this room, there was a map on the
multiplayer
table,
looks so
and
good. Like, this
when
is
you
just a
interact
co-op
with the map,
multiplayer
it
mod,
actually
bro, but it's just like, it
reveals
actually runs
points of
well, it
interest
looks
that
like.
usually
I mean,
wouldn't be
the
marked
mod
on the map.
marked really
For
well.
example,
Oh,
the
so- okay, so you
locations
can
of these
okay.
silver scarab
That's
beetles
really
would
nice.
show up, and
Does everybody
whenever
get the
we
buff
defeated
from
one of
this?
these,
I
a
wonder.
talisman would drop. Each character
for
has 2
one,
talisman
I'm assuming?
slots, and
Probably only
being
one,
able to loot a talisman usually was a really
everybody
big
gets
power
2.
spike for one member of our team.
Yeah.
And I don't have footage of it, but Kenneth Heights map also revealed the location of merchants on the map.
Churches, never
and
mind.
these merchants were always next to a smithing table, and they always sold one type of smithing stone.
I wonder how much time you
which
have until
would have allowed you
the storm
to
comes
level
in,
up
because this
your weapon.
seems like a waste
This
of time almost,
is
like going through
probably
these
a
dungeons.
really important mechanic
What if you get
to
trapped in
interact
if you
with
get trapped
you
in a
find
dungeon while the
merchant,
storm's coming in, you
because
lose, right?
weapons have different rarities as well, which is something I should have mentioned.
Oh.
There's a common level 1 rarity, there's a rare blue level 3 rarity, there's an epic purple level 9 rarity,
Whoa,
and
that's a big
we only
jump.
found 2 of these, but
That's
there
a
is
big
a
jump.
legendary rarity as well that
Ooh.
requires you to be level 12 to
Is that
equip
max
it.
level then?
I'll
Probably.
admit there were runs where I was like, ah man, we didn't get any good loot that run. Like, we didn't find that many epics or legendaries, and that could be a bit frustrating. However, I suspect that the merchants and their smithing tables
love the
will
vaulting,
be
bro.
a way to consistently upgrade
your
a
stuff
weapon
from
that
all the way to
might
gold.
be common, but it might have a really good buff that you want. And so I think
Okay, never mind, you can
upgrading
upgrade the
weapons could be a
rarities, you
way
just
to
have to
sort
find
of
them like that.
smooth out the randomness of the game. At the end of every day, you face a major boss. So there were 4 different types we could face in this demo, and they were all very difficult, especially the ones that
That's
split
great.
into multiple versions of themselves or had multiple ads that you had to deal with, because that
Ads?
required everyone in your team to fulfill
What?
a role, and the strategy you use against these bosses will play a huge part in your success. For example, we had someone on our team who was not as familiar with Elden Ring, so they ended up taking on a tanking role where they kind of held up their shield and tried their best to keep aggro
Took all
rather
damage
than
while
dealing
everybody
damage,
else, like, was...
and they
that
did a
makes
great
sense.
job of that. That worked really well because they could do something like distract the demi-human
While everybody
queen
else is just
all
doing
by
the big
themselves,
damage, everybody
while
that understands
me and a more
premise of these
competent
games.
player were
That-
able
that
to
sounded like almost like a
DPS
slight,
this
but whatever.
demi-human swordsman down, and then go back and help the tank with the one they
This
were
fight
aggroing.
seems insanely
There
tough,
were
bro.
strategies for every boss like this, and I really enjoyed coming up with ways to defeat these bosses on the fly and accounting for things that went wrong within the fight. So what you're
Night
seeing
repulsed.
here is the
that when you-
end
is that one of the-
day
you
one,
fight a
where
boss
they've
at the end of the night?
defeated
Yeah.
major boss, and
Yeah.
now they get to claim a reward.
Okay,
Like
and they
many
each get a
rewards
reward,
in this
I'm
game,
assuming?
it's a choice between
let's
three
see.
different options.
Let me actually look at the rewards. Extend spell effect duration. If you're a recluse, you kind of just have to go with this, no? Like, that just seems almost too on the nose, right? Poisoning a Scarlet Rot in vicinity continuously restores HP. I mean, if you can put Scarlet... Wait, what? So instead of Scarlet Rot taking from you, it gives you? Or is it just offsetting the difference? I'm assuming just offsetting the difference, because otherwise it would say instead of losing HP, you gain HP when you when you come in contact with Scarlet Rot or poison. Now, if you have a build where you can poison yourself on the fly, that makes sense. That I can see that. But you're also risking giving yourself, your teammates, poison or Scarlet Rot as well. I don't know. It has to be something that only you can inflict on yourself. And the flask slowly restores HP. If that's a one-time use, I'm not picking that. But if it's not a one-time use, I'd probably pick that.
Options. Sometimes it was a choice between permanent effects and buffs for your character, sometimes weapons, sometimes both, and again you have to make a really split-second decision on what is best for you and your team.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the day, the night rain recedes, and you can go out and explore again.
Oh
But
my god!
bear in mind, I'm pretty sure everything you killed on day one stays dead on day two, so it was important to keep progressing around the map and finding new places to explore.
Day 2, I like that. I
Eventually,
like that.
Everything culminates in this.
Okay, so
your
that's what I was
final
wondering what
fight
that was, but
against
that is
the
beautiful.
chosen Night Lord that you set out to face when you left the Round Table
Okay,
Hold.
so that's what this is.
In this case, our final boss was called Tricephalus,
Or
a
Cerberus.
three-headed hound that
Or
periodically
Cerberus, however
would
you
split
pronounce it.
into three parts, one for each member
This is just
of your
this is a
group.
boss that I feel like they
It's
should just make
in this
mainline
boss
in
fight
whatever
and
game
boss
they make.
fights
That's
like
such
this
a
that
cool
you
looking
realize
boss.
Night Rain really was designed for 3 people. Yes, they probably could have designed enemies so that they scaled with the amount of people in your party, but there's something to be said for not compromising on your boss design around that fact. You know, these bosses feel like they were designed to be taken on with 3 people, and
I don't really know what
everyone
that
in your
means. I have to-
party
is
is
that
supposed to
something I'd
have
have to
a different
experience when I
role
actually play the
in
game? I
these
don't really get
fights
what that
as a
means
result.
necessarily.
So, that's Night Rain. I mean, I could go on about all the different little
Man.
things I've discovered, but I don't have footage for it right now, so I think I'll just give you my thoughts on the game.
It looks
Obviously,
good.
somewhat biased. I run a From Software YouTube channel. You have to take what I say with a grain of salt, but I really did have so much fun playing this. In retrospect, I was a bit wrong about my analysis of the game previously, because previously a big point I mentioned was that, you know, Night Rain will allow you to get immersed in this ever-changing world and take in the scenery and just enjoy.
Bro, look at them aura walking, bro. Like, guys, you guys
This
on the
isn't
clock.
that.
Thank you,
Like,
recluse.
You don't
Get
have
moving.
time to appreciate this world sometimes. Instead, that feeling is replaced with this rush to explore and get stronger and overcome
the
difficulty,
magic
and
of
when your build
roguelikes.
comes together just right, and
The
that
magic
allows you
of
to
roguelikes, I'm
kill
telling
even
you,
more
it
bosses
makes you
even
feel,
faster,
it makes you feel
and
like
get
you're
even stronger.
Like you're not
It's
mad
a
anymore,
great
bro.
feeling,
In these
and
roguelike games, you feel
over the
greater
course
than.
of our play session, you know, we finally had one run where everything came together perfectly. We got the items we wanted, we managed to execute our strategies perfectly, and
That's good.
we finally faced off against the final boss and managed to take it down.
That's sick. I love that.
If you have a friend or two who are into Elden Ring as well, and you think you can all team up and take on this game together, I think it's going to be like one of the best co-op experiences you've ever had. My main concerns with this game come from the fact that, you know, if you don't have someone else to play this with, will this game still be great played with randoms or played by yourself?
I'm gonna have to
not
see
as
if it's
sure of
fun
that.
playing by
And I
myself.
think
But I also have a
the network
group of
test in a
people that
couple
I
of
could
days.
play with. Shout out to the
People
round
aren't going
table.
to have that many friends to play with who also got into the network test, and so I think some of the feedback.
Why did I get scared?
As it stands, everyone I know had a blast playing this together.
It looks amazing,
especially side by
bro.
side in the same room with other people.
Oh damn,
It
you're
was
getting
just
fucked. Oh my
an
god, how do you
unforgettable
survive that?
experience.
How much HP do
The
you
other
have,
thing
bro?
I'm curious about is when the full game releases, how random will the maps be? In this demo build of the game,
Were you not,
again,
yeah,
we
like,
could
you
only
shouldn't have an
play
answer for that.
one
He's
of
shooting that
two
into his
maps,
asshole.
but we've kind of been led to believe that maps will be somewhat procedurally generated and that they'll stitch together different zones. And yeah, the demo had 2 maps seemingly that you could explore, and over the course of our session and over the course of the network test, when people play this, they're going to start figuring out these maps and understanding the best route through, and it will become familiar to them, which
I don't want that.
I don't think
I'll
is
be
the
honest.
intended experience for Night Rain.
Yeah, I don't
suspect
think
in the
I
full
want
game,
that at all.
and I hope in the full game,
I want to feel
maps
like I'm
are
exploring a
really,
new
really
world every single
randomized,
time.
and no two playthroughs.
And if I have to be honest, I want them to
the
in the
same,
DLC at least,
so
because I think
that's
let me
definitely
save that
something
for
I'm going
later.
to be looking for in the full release. Anyway, I hope this video helped you understand more about the game.
It did.
I'll be playing the network test and recording
We
our
will be as
experiences,
well.
and I might make a video on that as well. So subscribe, stay tuned. Thank you to Bandai for flying me out and giving me this experience, and thank you for watching.
Oh my god. Yeah, Vati, you lucky bitch. That honestly looked better than what I was expecting it was gonna look. If I have to be honest, that looked amazing. I saw so many articles saying that the game wouldn't be fun and wouldn't be good. It's not what FromSoft does. They should stick to the single player. This looks fun, and everything he said just sounded amazing. Now, as I was saying with my DLC take, I want, because I think it's gonna be a DLC thing, if anything, I want them to introduce new zones to the game. I don't want it to just be Limgrave. As much fun as Limgrave was, what about the Kalids? What about the Liurnias? Bro, Liurnia is one of my favorite areas in any games. What was the golden place called? I don't even remember what it was called. But I put it in the game too! Why limit yourself to Liurnia when you literally have all of Elden Ring and like 6 different areas to your disposal? Do you know how insane it would be to explore a randomly generated Farum Azula? That would be ridiculous. That is peak. That is as good as it gets, bro. Farum Azula was beautiful. It was intense. Always had you on edge. I don't know about y'all, but Farum Azula always had me at the edge of my seat. I was scared. I was looking left and right. I didn't know when I was gonna get jumped by one of those clergy beastmen or whatever they were called. But I am excited. This is like Elden Ring and Fortnite and Marvel Rivals. Maybe not Marvel Rivals so much, but hey, those team up abilities, I'm running with it. It seems like it's gonna be a good time. Not only just the friends that I grew up with, but with Wiz, with Mike, with Celeste, with the round table, you know, and with y'all. You know, I want to be streaming this. I want to stream one of the test times with y'all, just to connect with the community. I want to be doing that live. I think it'd be fun. I think it's gonna be super fun. I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. I know I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm excited. 2 days away. I'm excited. I cannot wait to play this. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am, because I know after I watch this, man, you see Zero Star's video? We watching that. Extra Life? We watching that. IGN? I'll watch it. I don't want to, but I'm gonna watch it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. And peace out.